Wizards have finally done it. They've been pushing spell slinging for years now. Did they really make a champion good enough in Izzet to do it without an infinite combo? And finally, we have it. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Tipsy Goat. My name is Edwin, and today we're looking at the new Izzet commander in Vivi Ornitier. Vivi is a free mana Izzet commander that is a 0 free wizard and says pay 0 to add X mana in any combination of blue and or red, where X is Vivi's power. Activate only during your turn and only once each turn. And also says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Vivi and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So Vivi obviously is a spell slinger deck. They want you to cast a lot of spells, growing Vivi, pinging your opponents, and eventually use its ability to generate a lot of mana, start pinging again, drawing more cards, and yeah, basically Vivi does it all on just this one card. So the game plan is to play some cantrips, some ramp spells, some draw spells, all on non-creatures, and finish off by giving Vivi trample or playing a big spell. So the key cards, obviously, we have a couple of cantrips that are pretty good. We have the 2 mana cantrips that says discard draw 2. Drawing 2 is always better than drawing 1. We have 2 ways to give trample in Crash Through, that is just a 1 mana cantrip, and we have Fists of Flame that gives it trample and +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. So play 5 cantrips, you've now drawn 5 cards, and it gets an additional +5/+0. The other big way to finish is playing a big spell that lets you finish right away in, for instance, Epic Experiment, my favorite card to win a game. It costs X and Izzet. To exile the top X cards of your library, you may cast instant and sorcery spells with mana value X or less from them without paying their mana cost. So X is 10, review 10 cards, and all instant or sorcery cards with mana value 10 or less you can play for free. Of course, we're not always gonna find this big finisher, so another way to win the game is just adding some pingers. Of course, we have Gutter Snipe. We also have Gearson Starn. We have O'Hare Axonil that makes all your pings now deal 4 damage instead of 1. And we have the super awesome Bloomburrow Otter Wizard in Storm Splitter that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a token that's a copy of Storm Splitter. And the magic number here is 7, or maybe 8, because 7 multiplies means you now have 72 Storm Splitters, and most likely after you've already pinged a lot, this is going to finish your opponents off. If you can do 8, this will be 144, which is even better obviously, and a big overkill, which in Commander we love. Vivi pings and gives mana. They let you spell sling any way you want. I like explosive turns and winning in one bang. So this usually means a combo deck, but at Tipsy Goat we don't play tutors, and that means we cannot consistently find combo pieces. So we need other ways to win. This is the big finisher, this is the Storm Splitter, or this is all the pingers we have. So we need several cards to win, and they also need several other cards to help them get there. So this means we need a lot of draw spells and generate a lot of mana. Luckily Vivi helps out with the last part. This means we need about 15 ramp spells, 25 card draw with about half being cantrips, 5 removal pieces, 2 board wipes, 7 protection pieces, 35 lands, and 10 enablers. Note that you could go to 20 ramp and 30 lands, but Vivi wants to do the activation in multiple goes. Of course, we want to finish it off right away, but most of the time you will have to do it multiple times, meaning if you can just hit your land drop, that would really help you out later in the game. At the end of the video, I will show you another way to build Vivi, which isn't really my style, but will really dominate. It may even be better, but hey, I'm an aggro player. I like to draw a lot of cards, deal a lot of damage. This is it. So let's build Vivi. So first off, we have a couple burn spells in Coruscation Mage that lets it copy itself to deal 1 damage twice whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Fury, Inscription and Gutter Snipe both deal 2 damage whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. O'Hare Exenew lets you buff all your pingers, and the same for Starn when they deal exactly 1 damage. Then we have 11 cantrips. Blazing Crescendo also adds power. Crash Through adds trample. Faithless Looting just lets you see so many cards. And same for Frantic Search, that is basically free, as well as Git Probe. Opt, Ponder and Preordain lets you look at a couple of cards and then draw a card. Insight lets you discard a land card to draw 2 cards, and this is one of the few effects that says draw 2 cards for only 1 mana. Of course, we're gonna draw. Emeritus lets you draw a card whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery. Curiosity and Ophidian Eye both lets you draw a card whenever your commander or another pinger deals damage. So cast a non-creature spell, you deal 1 damage and draw a card. Ledger Shredder, always good. Aura, just a staple. Windfall is pretty awesome if you can draw a lot of cards and then instantly have just so many new options. Note that there is an infinite combo whenever you add both of those Nif Mizzets there, because Perun says whenever you draw a card, deal 1 damage to any target, and Visionary says whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. So draw a card, deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage, draw a card, and there you have it, your whole library in your hand. And yeah, all the cards that you drew all deal 1 damage to any target, so you're probably gonna win right there. And the other combo that pretty much does the same is Rune with Curiosity or Ophidian Eye. As I said, we are not playing tutors, so this isn't too much of a worry, especially as Nif Mizzet is 6 mana, of which 6 are colored pips, so yeah, getting it out was pretty late game, and if we're winning there or drawing our entire library, it's not too big of a deal. And then Raw is pretty cool. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a loyalty counter on Raw Crackling Wit. You can plus him to make an altar with prowess, or you can -3 to draw 3 cards, then discard 2. And with the amount of non-creature spells we are playing, you can do the second ability basically every turn, letting you see a lot of cards. And then you also have the -10, draw 3, and get an emblem with instant and sorcery spells you cast have Storm. Pretty powerful. And if we've activated our commander, we might want to do it again, and that is where we blink, because now your commander is a new object and you can activate the ability once more. Displacer Kitten is the best way to blink, because it lets you do it whenever you cast a non-creature spell. Essence Flux only does it for 1 mana, and Flicker does it for free, but also lets you exile another artifact, so maybe a Soul Ring, to reduce its cost a little. And as we're doing all this cool stuff, our opponents are probably gonna want to end this, so we have a lot of protection. We have counter spells, we have Deflecting Swat, we have Propaganda, we have the Ozolith as well, because whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozolith, and at the beginning of combat on your turn you can move those counters from the Ozolith to your commander, which is pretty sick if you have the Displacer Kitten out already, because now whenever you blink it and you go to combat, you get all those counters that it had before back on your commander, and now you can activate it for its enormous power again. So Ozolith and Displacer Kitten, look out for that combination. And of course, to make all this happen, we have Ramp, we have the Signets, and we have the Talisman, we have Soul Ring as well, and we have a couple of options to make a lot of mana. We have Jessica's Will, we have Burgi, Stormkiln Artist, and Sieving Song, and we also have Mana Geyser if we think we can win, or if we're afraid our opponent is going to win next turn. This way we can make a lot of mana, play a lot of cantrips, and see where we end up. Of course, we need a way to get it all back. Underworld Breach, a game changer, of course, because it's just so very strong. And Mystics Mastery, my favorite Spellslinger card, is going to be in there as well. Now we need some ways to remove as well. Since we are playing a Spellslinger deck, we do not have a big board. So you could add more board wipes, more mass return everything to hand, because basically we only care about our commander and its 3 mana. So you can activate its ability, return everything to hand, you still have a lot of mana, play your commander again, play some other spells, and you're back in business while all your opponents are really suffering from the board wipe. So you could add it. I like to be as aggro as possible, so I only have Chandra's Ignition to wipe the board and keep your commander, and the same for Consuming Tide. Each player chooses a non-land permanent they control, return everything that is not chosen to their owner's hands, and you can draw a card for each opponent who has more cards in their hand than you. And since they will have a board and you won't, they will probably have more cards in hand than you have. So there you have it, a solid game plan with a lot of options, some recursion, some removal spells, but mostly just a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of cantrips to keep on going through your entire library to find the right pieces and to have a lot of fun while doing it. I really enjoyed Vivi. To be honest, just the first time that I saw it on the leaks, I was like, holy shit, did they really just release this card? I mean, it makes mana, it pinks on its own, it does everything you want in a Spellslinger deck, and that's why you should build it as well. I did kind of the aggro combo route, but of course you can play the control combo route as well, just playing a lot of removal on your opponent's turn and use all of that mana on your own. So this way you don't have to tap your lands, you can just use Vivi, which means on your opponent's turns you will have all the card draw again that you need and all the mana with your untapped lands, which is pretty cool as well. I just like the aggro side more, but control definitely works as well. I really liked Vivi and I hope you will do too. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe, all that good stuff. For now, I really like to thank you for watching this video and see you on the next one.